Maybe I'll only get an hour in, but that'll be worth it. Try and think of all the things we're grateful for and how we can relax today and maybe get a few self-care things done while we're at it. So why don't you get a cup of coffee, put a pot of tea on, and join me in just a few hours, if that's all you have, outside, enjoying the early morning beauty of nature. I think you'll enjoy it. I've just come in from being outside in the very early morning, and I even have a few things I think I want to do today for myself. I'm going to put my whitening strips on. I'm overdue on that. I have a little bit of nail care that I want to show you, something that is finally working on my nails, and just a couple of other little self-care things that make me feel good about me. So I fixed myself up a little bit, and I'm going to put my hair up. I'll put some makeup on, and actually I left my brush in the bathroom. I'm not going to get up to get it. I'll just use my hands today. You know, I think I told you the story outside, which you will hear later, or I don't know where that will come in this video. But I had told you that I had lost one of these clips about a month ago and didn't know where it was. Well, a couple of nights ago, I lost another one, and I didn't have any at all. So yesterday I was looking all over, took the bed apart, couldn't find it. But we have one of those beds that goes up and down with it's two twin extra longs, and it's just a wonderful bed. One of the most expensive things that makes our life so much easier, especially mine, not only for changing sheets and things. A lot of times I'll have the kids come down and do that anyway, but for sleeping and for Moosey's aches and pains and everything, it's wonderful. So it also helps on nagging and pulling the covers off each other. They sort of stay put a little bit better. So at any rate, I finally decided, got out my flashlight and everything, and I decided it's probably fallen down. One of those combs has probably fallen down between the cracks, because I must have gone to bed the night before last exhausted and didn't take my hair out. Sometimes that happens. Happens to me, ladies. I don't know whether it happens to you. But I went to bed, had the comb in, and put the bed, you know how you put the beds up when you change the sheets? Let's see if this is even here. Now what I do is pull a little bit up, a little bit down. Okay, so that'll do for now. So I got my flashlight out and put one of the beds way up in the air with those controls. I got up on the other bed on my hands and knees. Now, this takes effort really at 86. And put my hand down to see if I could get in there. Nope, but with the flashlight, I saw this comb. And I told you this whole story down there. Well, I went down in there with this tool. Look at this. And believe it or not, as skinny as it was, look at this. Now, I don't know how I did this. I cannot for the life of me figure out how I did this, but this will hold anything. And I reached down and I managed to connect the two and brought it carefully up, sat up, and guess what? On the end of this gadget, a grab bar, I found two of these together. So this is where the other one must have gone 3 or 4 weeks ago, and they were perfectly lined up, so they were brought up in one scoop. I never did add that grab bar to things that make our life easier, but definitely it's up there right now. So find things that help make your life easier, and one of them turned out to be something for my nails. You know, I was using that Sally Hansen. I haven't put nail polish on for a while because my nails have been kind of peely and a bit cracky, and just normally I have pretty good nails. And I have been using the Sally Hansen, but that didn't seem to be working. But one day I was watching Sheila, the old girl, and she recommended this. She had gotten a recommendation from a friend, and it is called, and by the way, I've had it on for a week or two, and it's working. It stays on. It's almost like a coating of Verathane or something. It's called Nail Tech, and it's a clear liquid. I think it was under $10. Got it on Amazon, of course. It's one thing that I have found in all the different nail things that I've used that is helping. So thanks, Sheila, for that too. What else did I want to tell you about? We talk a lot about dry shampoo, and I know a lot of you are afraid of the colors. I think they make the dry shampoo now that it doesn't have a white powdery cover. Maybe a while back it did, but I don't think. I know it doesn't do it to mine. Of course, I have white hair to begin with. By the way, natural white. A lot of people have been saying I color my hair. When I sit here in natural light, it looks almost like what my hair used to look like, but it is pure white. When I'm other places, it shows up white. But I did want to talk about some of the things, because I do use dry shampoo, and it might take a little bit of the luster off. I do use various oils every once in a while on my hair, sometimes as leave-in conditioners, and couple of them I'm going to show you. I've shared this one before, and a lot of people said, Nanny, that is a great hair oil for black hair. And I don't care whether it's white or black, but it does give my hair a sheen. I spray it on, and it's made by, it's olive oil sprays made by ORS, whatever that means. And it's a spray-on oil, a nourishing sheen spray, and I have loved it. And let me put some on right now. You don't need, it feels very dry as it goes on. You might not notice it, but I love it. I love it. Olive oil made by ORS. And another one that I have is an argan oil, and it's made by Lusty, Lusti. It's a hair moisturizer, triple strength. And this also, now you would put this on with your hands, because this is something you have to do to your hair when it's down. But as you can see, it's got a few drops, and you rub it on your fingers, and then you would rub it on your hair. It doesn't smell that much different. So those are a few of them. There was another one that I had too that was a spray that I can't find right now. Speaking of losing things in your home, why does it seem that you lose things in a tiny little cottage more often than I did when I had a great big 5,000 square foot home? I can't figure it out, but I do. And I know that's probably to blame, because I am a maximalist and I have stuff and probably not enough places to store everything properly. So I'm expecting to have Shani come down over the weekend. Shannon is my 17-year-old granddaughter, and right now I think she's enjoying the time up there. Of course, she's back in school. And Brendan has 3 boys from his college down. They went to a Dodger game last night. They're going to an Angel game tonight. They've had great seats right behind the dugout. The boys are big baseball guys. They're all on the baseball team at the cottage, and they are having the time of their lives, as are the 2 girls, I think. I think maybe Ryan might have a gal friend over, and Shani's probably enjoying the company no end, too. She's such a cute doll. I'm sure the boys are, too. I brought up the salad yesterday. They arrived Wednesday, and I think they probably have finished it by now. Moosey's dying to talk to them all, as I am, just to see them. When I was outside, I just wanted to be out in the sun, the early morning sun, because it's so peaceful at that time of the morning. And, there's so many things going on in our lives. In my life, I'm a caretaker to Moosey. And as the doctor told me, I probably had a lot of stress going within the last couple of weeks with the falls and the false alarms and various other things that were going on, my bladder infection. But he said, try and lessen the stress. Well, You try as much as you can. But when I go outside and sit early in the morning, all by myself, all alone, I have a feeling of peace that comes over me. I just hear birds and no one else. And I highly recommend it to find your inner peace and get rid of a lot of that stress. Even if it's only for an hour or two a day, try and do that. Every once in a while, you need one of these days, and that's a day of doing nothing. Just self-contemplating, taking care of a few things that have to be done periodically. And that's not the everyday washing your face, taking a shower, taking care of your hair. It's those things that happen when we age. And in the old days, and that is the feet, the skin, the nails, definitely a little extra love to the face. So hang in there, stay with us, and maybe you'll come along and have one of those days, or at least half a day, and if not that, just an hour of peace outside with nature. And I don't hear the birds yet. Maybe I better put out a little seed for them. But it's just a quiet hour, let's call it. Moosey is sound asleep. I'm enjoying my alone time. And life couldn't be better at this moment. Join me and try it. So lately, I've been relying on my bio oil gel, which sometimes takes the place of my Nivea in the morning, although it's sometime during the day, the Nivea always gets on my face. But you put this on after you wash your face in the morning or after your shower, and I mainly reserve it for my face because there are other things I use on my body. Normally you would put it on while your face is still damp. Now I've walked around a little bit, it's not quite as damp, but I just adore this. And it will keep my skin lubricated. Now I know that a lot of women don't like oily things on their skin, but if you've noticed, people that are really serious about keeping their skin supple and soft, you know, you gotta get a few oils on your face, ladies. And this particular one, if you don't like the feeling of the oil that stays, see, I do because my skin is so dry. I put it on my neck as well, and behind my ears, by the way. It just will, in a little while, it will sink in, but I wish it stayed like this for a longer time. Now I will wait a little while, and then maybe today's the day that I will do a little slugging with my Vaseline. Not too much, because in the heat, it's a little too heavy to really slather on, which I will do in the winter time when my skin is extra dry. But for now, I'll wait a little while and then put some Vaseline on while I just enjoy the outdoors, nature, hopefully the birds. I just put a little bird seed out for them, so we'll see what they do. So, it's just relax time. I should have something to put my feet up on, but I think this will be fine. What I want to talk about today are a few of the things that I did this week in my recovering from my bladder infection. From what the culture came back, it wasn't a real severe, it was not a severe infection, but that was due to me because I really want to get to the root of things right away, because bladder infections, kidney infections scare me if they go too long. Now, when I went to the doctors, if you remember, I went a day early, got there. She said, oh no, go home, come back tomorrow at 2:20, which I did. And that was the day before yesterday. When I saw the doctor, we went through all my numbers. Everything is fine with me. I'm very happy. in the light of that, thinking a lot about my health, my age, and all the things that you should be doing at this age. I know we've talked a lot about makeup. Now that sun does feel good on my face. The sun keeps moving and I'm afraid I'm gonna have to keep moving this chair. I really, at this point in my life, although I know I look better when I put makeup on, when I dress up pretty, and all those things you do to make yourself feel good, you really have to think now, these days, as we're aging, and that word's okay, you know, it happens to everybody, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. But my advice to anyone is to start early taking care of your body, and we go over this and over it. Exercising and diet and mental health is so important. Find hobbies as you get older. Find something that keeps you happy, adjusted, feeling as if you're happy in your situation. Now, I should have my hat on out here, shouldn't I? Let me go get my hat. I have to tell you a funny story. Well, it's not so funny, but something that happened to me yesterday. When I woke up in the morning, I had to come out quickly for some reason or other. I don't know whether there was a delivery out here or what, but I'm gonna put my feet up. I love it when my feet are up, not that high. But I had to come out quickly, so I threw some clothes on and I thought, oh, let me put my hair up. Well, you know, the quickest way for me, as you know, to do that is with my wonderful big celluloid comb. And I looked next to my bed, it wasn't there. I looked in the bathroom, I looked everywhere, couldn't find it anywhere. And I thought, last night when I went to sleep, I was a little bit lazy. I just kind of fell asleep after a movie. And I think I stayed like that till 3 or 4 in the morning and woke up, which Moosey gets so upset with me when I fall asleep in the middle of a movie that we're watching or part of our series. So I couldn't figure out where this comb was. Moosey bought this for himself, and he's been keeping it over there in Moosey's world next to his bed, next to his red chair. And he uses it to reach down and get things when he needs it because he can't bend over. And I thought to myself, Nanny, it's time you made use of some of these gadgets. I've told you a while ago, and then I never got back to it. I was having a problem with the locks, those automatic clickers to get in and out of the car. Mine is so old that the battery had died, and there's a story to that. But I couldn't get into the car. It had started to just seize up on me. And I came out to get something. I'd picked up all my pills after my doctor visit, and one of the bags had fallen on the floor on the passenger side. Well, I didn't want to, I tried to reach over and get it from the driver's side, and I thought, no, I'll go over and just get it from the other side. I walked around the car, and I remembered that that door would not open. Now, I know it's time to get everything fixed once and for all, stop putting it off, but I have gotten around it for a while. There's something wrong with the indoor lock, I think, on that door. Well, I couldn't open it no matter what I did, and meanwhile, I have this non-functional clicker, but I do have a key, but only to the driver's side, which does happen to open everything when it wants to, not all the time, the trunk and the back doors, but not that one passenger car. So I thought, how am I going to get that without contortioning myself? And then I remembered, let me try my new grab bar. So out I went into the car, sat in the driver's seat, reached down to the floor of the passenger seat, got the bag of pills, and I was fine. So how many of you, I've done a couple of videos on things that make my life easier and safer. And especially after many falls several years ago, I went through a period of just not slowing down and not realizing that I was as old as I am. And I fell, thank God. I never hurt myself seriously, but now I'm very careful. So let's rely on some of these things, and this is one of them that I've not told you about yet, but I've told you about some other things, and I'm going to do in another video, perhaps do it over again. There are some new things that I've added, that of the many things that make our life easier and safer, including some big items, but so many of these small ones, including that car handle. And that was one of the best. Many people went out and ordered that the last time I ordered it. And a few other things that are so important. My clogs that I wear with the high arch. Many of you have asked about those. And the high arch keeps my feet from recurring plantar fasciitis. And that's that situation with the heel and the ligaments and everything. But having a really high arch that many of the clogs have, I wear them too much. Probably all day long when I'm around here. So I brought out my little basket of goodies. One of them is a little head wrap that I didn't put on because I needed my hat instead. Oh, the other thing I wanted to tell you about, because somebody had asked, and I was about to tell her what I wash my face with, and then it got away on me. So for those of you who have wondered, and I've mentioned these before, I do not use any soaps or astringents or toners or oil cleansers or anything to clean my face. When I'm in the shower, believe it or not, I just go over my face with my normal whatever I'm washing my body with. It's usually just a soap of some kind, Irish Spring or something. But, and I know people say you don't do that, but on the whole, morning and night, to get the makeup off mainly, I use these microfiber pads, special pads that, and there's so many different brands of these online on Amazon. Once again, ladies, Amazon's the place to go. They're called halos, face halos, and that's the brand name. But the ones that I get, I think I got 4 of them in a big black net bag, and that's how you throw them in the washer and wash them. I do scrub them and wash them every time I use them. And boy, if you squeeze this, you would see the makeup that comes off your face. This exfoliates the same way that it cleanses, and I swear by them. It's what I use. No soap, just water, no cleanser or anything. And then I go straight into my moisturizer while my face is nice and damp. So I recommend these. Go online. They're called face halos, and you don't have to buy the brand name because there's many others. This is not the brand name. I got this one. These are gray. They come in white and black, and some of them come with bags. These all came, and I think it's only $10 or $12 for 4 of them in a net bag that you throw them in when you wash them in the washing machine. As you can see, I do not have an updo today. I haven't started to do much with myself yet today. I just still in my jammies, and I did want to talk to you just about this morning. Was just coming out here for an hour and relaxing with nature and just thinking about life in general. I am blessed. My health is good right now at this age. You never know what's ahead of you, and you know, we have to be prepared. So enjoy the pasta, and this is your recipe. Follow it here. To start, you dice lots of celery and a nice sweet onion, not a too awfully hard tasting onion. This is the holy grail that you start with. Lots of mayo with olive oil or avocado oil. I throw in some zesty lime craft dressing because it gives it a zip. Lots of chopped up black olives, lots of chopped up pepperoni, and of course, lots of chopped up cheese. Now it can be anything from cheddar to Colby. The pasta is finished. It's a tri-colored rotini. You can use elbow macaroni, you can use bow ties, anything you like, but for Brendan, I always use the tricolor. Definitely want it to cool off now. Stop the cooking and get it ready to put in with all the rest of the things. To do right now is to start blending with my mayo, and between that and this we do a little mixing for a while, adding a little bit of this, a little bit of that, this and that. Be able to accept a lot of the pasta as it starts going in little by little. And then I mix. Trying to grab some of this. If Colleen has some dill, maybe I'll grab it from her and put it in. But I've been slivering, I always wanted to call it pastrami, but it's, you know what. I have to sit down to start taking these wrappers off the cheese, but that's the next step. So, as you can see, I'm going to mix this over and get all those olives and pepperoni, that's it, pepperoni and all the spices down in the bottom, and then I'll probably do it again. Sometimes I've used a sun-dried tomato dressing, sometimes I use the lime, just depends. So enjoy. I would go out to my garden and clip some fresh basil a little while, although I'm finished with this now. I think I'll try and relax. Do some things that make you feel good today for yourself. Just if you can only grab an hour, do that. Relax, contemplate nature, listen to the birds. Just think about yourself, what makes you happy, and enjoying your aging years, which is, let's face it, that's what we're doing at this age. Take good care of yourself. Think of the things that keep you safe, things that make your life a little easier and safer. Just know that there are ways that you can spend the rest of your life very happy and very, very comfortable, fortifying your life and your self-confidence. Thank you all so much for being here with us and enjoying our channel. I love you. I'll see you real soon. And God bless us all.